Halo 2 is the second installment in the Halo franchise and the sequel to 2001's critically acclaimed Halo Combat Evolved. The game features new weapons, enemies, and vehicles, another player character, and shipped with online multiplayer via Microsoft's Xbox Live service. In Halo 2 story mode, the player assumes the role of the human Master Chief and alien Arbiter in a 26th century conflict between the United Nations Space Command, the Genocidal Covenant, and later the Parasitic Flood. After the success of Halo Combat Evolved, a sequel was expected and highly anticipated. Bungie, the developer of the games, found inspiration in plot points and gameplay elements that had been left out of their first game, including online multiplayer, for as an example. A troubled development and time constraints forced cuts to the scope of the game, including the wholesale removal of a more ambitious multiplayer mode, and necessitated a cliffhanger ending to the game's campaign mode. Among Halo 2's marketing was an early alternate reality game called I Love Bees that involved players solving real-world puzzles. Bungie supported the game after releases with new multiplayer maps and updates to address cheatings and glitches. And we'll talk about those cheating later down. But in this game, I really want to, this video, I really want to talk to you about how to properly play. This is kind of like a how to play Halo 2. So I want to break down, in this video, I want to break down the gameplay as in many details and as much details as possible. For people who want to play Halo 2, who want to play, video games, not just Halo 2, but just video games in general, but they physically can't play it, whether they're, they're lazy or they're terrible at video games or some other reason. But they really want to know more about these types of games, and they want to, immerse themselves in this environment. So this video is for those people. So, you could watch. Another alternative is to watch a full playthrough of Halo 2 on YouTube, but this is just that's just an alternative. But here we go. So I'm going to be explaining to you in full detail the gameplay mechanics of Halo 2 for those who are curious. So, Halo 2 is a shooter game. Players primarily experience gameplay from a first-person perspective, with the viewpoint shifting to third-person for vehicle segments. Players use a combination of human and Covenant weaponry and vehicles to progress through the game's levels. Certain weapons can be dual-wielded, allowing the player to trade accuracy, the use of grenades, and melee attacks for raw firepower. The player can carry 2 weapons at a time, or 3 if dual-wielding, with one weapon remaining holstered, with each weapon having strengths in different combat situations. Most Covenant weapons, for example, eschew disposable ammo magazines for a contained battery, which cannot be replaced once depleted. However, these weapons overheat if fired continuously. Human weapons are less effective at penetrating shields and require reloading ammunition, but cannot overheat due to prolonged fire. Players can hijack enemy vehicles and quickly assume control of them. The player is equipped with a damage-absorbing shield that regenerates when not taking fire. Their health bar is not visible. So, basically what that means is that as long as you have that shield, as long as you equip that shield, and you display it, the health bar will be invisible as long as you have that shield up. Is basically what that sentence means. The game's campaign mode offers options for both single-player and cooperative multiplayer participation. In campaign mode, the player must complete a series of levels that encompass the Halo 2 entire storyline. These levels alternate between the Master Chief and a Covenant elite named called the Arbiter, who occupy diametrically opposed roles in the story's conflict. Aside from variations in storyline, the Arbiter differs from Master Chief's storyline only in that his armor lacks a flashlight. Instead, it is equipped with a short-duration rechargeable form of active camouflage that disappears when the player attacks or takes damage. There are 4 difficulty levels in campaign mode: easy, normal, heroic, and legendary. An increase in difficulty will result in an increase in the number, rank, health, damage, and accuracy of enemies, a reduction of duration, and an increase in recharge time for the Arbiter's active camouflage, a decrease in the player's health and shields, and occasional changes in dialogue. Enemy and friendly artificial intelligence is dynamic, and replaying the same encounters repeatedly will demonstrate different behavior. Alright, so that's pretty much the sum of the gameplay of Halo 2. Now, one of the things that, as I mentioned earlier in this video, is the multiplayer, which, which is something that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. So we'll talk about that here. So, like Halo Combat Evolved, the Xbox version of Halo 2 features a multiplayer system that allows players to compete with each other in split-screen and system link modes. In addition, it added support for online multiplayer via Xbox Live. The Xbox Live multiplayer and downloadable content features of the Xbox version of Halo 2 were supported until the discontinuation of the service back in April 2010. And, instead of implementing multiplayer by having players manually join lobbies, as was common in games at the time, Halo 2 used matchmaking. Players chose the general type of match that they want to play, and the game selected the map and game type and automatically found other players. This playlist system automated the process of each matches to keep a steady flow of games available at all times, and combined a skill ranking system on the top. So that's pretty much the multiplayer aspect of this game. The setting is pretty much the same as the first game. So yeah, like I remember. So here's something you should know about. This is a fact. Here's a fact about Halo 2's multiplayer, and that it suffered from a widespread cheating on belief. Some players use standbying or lag killing to cheat, where the player hosting the games intentionally pressed the standby button on his or her modem. This resulted in all the other players freezing in place and allowed the cheater to kill other players or capture objectives. Another exploit called BXR allowed players to cancel melee animations and quickly attack for an instant kill, rather than rely solely on user reports or misbehavior. Bungie, the developer, leveraged its game statistics collection to proactively find cheating players, creating an automatic banning system. So, after finding out that players were cheating on the multiplayer aspect of the game, Bungie, the developer of the Halo game, the Halo games, found out about it and pretty much put an end to all that. So Halo 2. So yeah, that's pretty much how you play Halo 2. But before I conclude this video, Halo 2 would later go on and become one of the greatest video games of all time. I personally love this game so much. It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there with the first Halo game, Combat Evolved. This and the first game. So far this is my first time. Let me make one thing clear. This is my first time going with you playing these video games. So I just finished playing the first first Halo game. And then recently I just played, literally a few days ago. I just finished playing Halo 2, And now coming soon, I will be playing Halo 3 personal, it will be my very first time playing Halo 3 in my next video. I'll be talking about that. But yeah, like Halo 2 would go on and become the greatest video games of all time. It's definitely one of my favorite Halo games. Um, it's just I just love this I just love so much about this game. It's so much nostalgia. This game came out way back in November 2004, and like it brings back memory. It does. It brings back memories for players who play this game for the first time, who play this game already. This is my first time, so um, but yeah, I'm sure some players, their memories came back when they were playing this game, and so much nostalgia for them. But yeah, like I just love yeah, I just love the multiplayer aspect, and but I guess the campaign and the cliff. I think the first Halo game was better. It was better than this game. I think the campaign in this game and the cliffhanger ending was a little bit mixed. I had a little bit of a mixed bag with those two, but the rest of it, I love it. The rest of it, I completely love. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for Halo 2. Yeah, not really a review, not really much of a review. Like I said, this video is mostly for people who want to play video games, but they can't, whether maybe they're lazy, or maybe they can't afford a video game console, or maybe, or maybe they watched, I mean, I don't know, maybe they watched, maybe they don't want to watch, like, a full playthrough of the game on YouTube, on like a video game YouTube channel. This is that this that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to make these videos, to break it down for you, the gameplay and pretty much every aspects and everything important that you need to know about this game. And well, just these types of games. So this one's for them, and thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time to listen to my everything. And I'll see you in my next video. Yeah. Peace.